Hi everybody, welcome to a new week and a new maths lesson for you to complete on Seesaw. This week we're going to be learning about multiplication. So it is things that we've done before in class, so hopefully it won't be too tricky and it's just going to jog your memories and help you to remember what to do. Okay, just like the other videos in the past, you need to scroll through to the correct method for you. Today we're going to be looking at using objects and pictures to solve multiplications. We're going to be looking at using arrays and the commutative method of multiplication, and we're going to be looking at just using our times tables and our counting as well to help us to solve some word problems. Okay, so you need to decide which of those things is appropriate for you and scroll to the correct part of the video now. Okay, first of all, we're going to look at having some objects to represent multiplication, and this is going to be for the children that are completing task 1 on the Seesaw challenges. Okay, so I'm going to show you some objects and some groups, and I want you to decide how many groups I have and how many marbles is in each group. Ready? So here are the marbles. We've got, look at the groups first. So we've got 1, 2, 3 groups. And how many marbles are in each of the groups? That's right, we've got 2 marbles in each group. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to draw that as a picture, and we're going to see if we can work out what the answer is to the total number of marbles, okay? Okay, so I'm going to draw those marbles that we've just seen first of all as a picture now, okay? Because this is what you're going to have on your work this week. So we had one group of 2 marbles, we had another group of 2 marbles, and then we had another group of 2 marbles, okay? Now we're first of all going to write this as a repeated addition, because we are just adding up the same number lots of different times. So we need to think again about how many marbles was in each group, and we said before that that was 2. So we're going to be doing 2, and we're adding it up however many times we need to show how many groups there are. So we've got 1, 2, 3. So I need to do 2, add 2, add 2. 2, add 2, add 2. And I can put my equal sign, and then we're going to work out the answer. So I would like you to try your counting in 2s. We've got 2, 4, 6. So we know that 2 add 2 add 2 is equal to 6. Now I did say that we were doing some multiplication, so we're also going to write this as a multiplication number sentence, because multiplication is the same as repeated addition. It's just adding up the same number lots of times, okay? So this time we're going to start with the number again that's in each group. So we've got 2, but instead of putting an add symbol, we're going to be putting a multiply symbol, or a times we call it. So we've got 2 times, and then we're going to write down the number of groups that we had. So that's 1, 2, 3. So 2 times 3. And we work out the answer in just the same way. We count up how many marbles we've got all together. We can count in our 2s, 2, 4, 6, and we still get the same answer. So doing 2 add 2 add 2 is the same as doing 2 times 3, and it's a little bit quicker, because when you've got lots of groups, it can take a really long time to write all that out, and that's why using multiplication is going to be more efficient for us. So that's what we're going to work on today in your task, is to recognising the repeated addition and the multiplication. We're going to do one more example now. Okay, so I've drawn my groups of marbles again, and I've done them in a different colour this time so we can see the difference. So I want you to have a look at this image here. I want you to decide how many is in each group again, and how many groups we've got all together. So take a couple of seconds to count those groups and how many is in each group. Okay, so we've got 2 in each group again. So when I'm writing my repeated addition, I'm going to be starting with the number 2, and I'm going to be adding it up lots of times. Now we need to count the number of groups we've got, and that's the number of times that we're going to add 2 together. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And well done if you accurately counted that at home. So I'm going to be adding up 2 8 times, which is quite a lot of times to write the number 2, isn't it? But at least it'll help us to practice forming our numbers. So 2 add 2, that's 2 2s, add 2, 3 2s, add 2 again, 4 2s, 5 2s, 6 2s, 7 2s, 8 2s. I'm just going to check that I've done 8 of them to be really careful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. Now we're going to do our counting in 2s again to help us to work out the answer to 2, add 2, add 2 until we've done it 8 times, okay? So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So our answer is going to be 16. If you're struggling with your counting in 2s up to the number 16, then you can count the marbles individually and it'll give you the same answer, because all we're trying to work out is how many marbles there are all together. Okay? So now we're going to write this as a multiplication as we did before. So who can think about what the first number is going to be? The first number is going to be the amount that's in one of the groups. So the first number is going to be 2. And then we're going to put our times or our multiply symbol. And then how many groups did we have all together? That's right, we had 8 groups. So we're going to be doing 2 times 8. And again, we do the same things. I'm going to count my groups again. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. And I've got my answer of 16. Okay? So if you normally work with Mrs. Barker or Mrs. Seagrave in maths, we'd love you to have a go of task 1 on the maths challenge for this week on Seesaw. Okay, good luck everyone. Okay, we're now going to start looking at the commutative relationship between multiplication number sentences. And this is a little bit tricky. You've got quite a lot to do this week, so make sure you're listening really carefully so that you understand how to answer your worksheet, okay? So we're going to start off with a set of objects, right? So we've got some strawberries here that I've drawn. So what I want you to think about, again, is how many groups we've got and how many is in each group, okay? And then we're going to show this as an array, okay, which I'll explain to you in a moment, but I just want you to have a look at the groups and how many is in each group. Okay, so I can see here we've got one group of 2 strawberries. So there's 2 strawberries in a group. Here's another group of 2 strawberries. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of 2 strawberries. So I'm going to draw those as an array. An array is just showing the objects but using dots, okay? And I'll show you how that works because you're going to have to do this on your work this week. So here is my first group of 2, my second group of 2 next to each other, third group of 2, and my fourth group of 2. Okay, so I've just shown those strawberries, but this time I've represented them as an array. Okay, now I'm going to show my groups of 2 by circling them. So that's one group of 2, 2 groups of 2, 3 groups of 2, 4 groups of 2. But with arrays, there's another way to look at the groups, okay? And some of you might have noticed this before. Some of you might have noticed that there is 4 strawberries in a group and there is 2 groups. And that is also correct, okay? Because there are 2 ways to do multiplications. It's commutative, which means that you can switch the numbers around and it will still give you the same answer. Okay, so I'm going to draw around my groups of 4. There's one group of 4 and there's another group of 4, and we can show that really clearly with our arrays by circling them, okay? So we're now going to try to write our repeated additions, and there's going to be 2 repeated additions because there's 2 ways that we can do it. We can add up our 2s, so we can do 2, add 2, add 2, add 2. which will give us, if we count in our 2's 4 times, correct, that will give us 8. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, okay? And then we can also look at our red groups and we can do 4, add 4, okay? And that also gives us 8, okay? Because we've still got the same number all together, okay? So that's how we can see that multiplication is commutative, but we've got a few more steps to do on our work as well. So we're going to write a word sentence, and a word sentence is just going to be something lots of something, okay? So it's not going to be too complicated, I promise. So we've got, for our green ones, we had how many lots? So how many groups? We had 4 lots of, and how many was in a group? We had 1, 2 in a group, so 4 lots of 2 equals 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, 4 lots of 2 equals 8. But we also know that something lots of something equals 8 as well. So we know that 2 lots of 4 equals 8. Okay, so that's how I've switched those around. And we're still getting the same answer, but I'm just switching around the numbers in the question. And then we can write our 2 number sentences. Okay, so instead of 4 lots of 2, I'm going to write 4 times, because that's what lots of is, it's just a times. 4 times 2 equals 8. And then we've got our other number sentence, 2 times 4 equals 8. Okay, and that's what I'm expecting you to have a go of in your challenge this week, is to look at the object or whichever part of your grid is filled in for you, and to fill in the rest of it using what you know. Okay, so it is a little bit tricky, but I think that you can all do it if you slow down and think about it and really look at the objects that you've got. Okay, we'll do one more together. Okay, so we've got some new groups of objects here, so have a look at it and see if you can decide how many groups we have and how many is in each group. And remember that there are 2 ways to do it, so you can have a think about both if you're feeling like you want to challenge yourselves. Okay, so I can see that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 flowers in each group. So this is one group, 2 groups of 5 and 3 groups of 5. So I know that I've got 3 groups or 3 lots of 5. Okay, so I'm going to draw that now as an array. Okay, just going to get myself a new colour. So I'm going to draw my groups of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to show those groups by circling them. So 1 group of 5, 2 groups of 5, and 3 groups of 5. Okay, but we can also hopefully see that along this way we've got lots of groups of 3. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lots of 3. So I'm going to circle those as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lots of 3. Okay, so I can now begin to fill in the rest of my missing parts. Okay, so I'm going to write my repeated additions first. I'm going to start off with my groups of 5. So I've got 5, add 5, add 5. Okay, 5, 10, 15. I know that the answer is going to be 15. And now we're going to do it for our groups of 3. Okay, so I know that I had 5 groups of 3, so 3 add 3 add 3, add 3, add 3. And even though we've not really practiced counting in threes lots and lots, we know that the answer is going to be 15 because it's still the same both ways round, because we've still got the same number of dots in our array. The answer is going to be 15. Okay, so that's our repeated additions filled in. Now we're going to do our word sentences. So we're going to start off with our lots of 5. So how many lots of 5 did we have? 3 lots of 5. And we still have the answer of 15. And then we had something lots of 3. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lots of 3 equals 15. Okay, and then finally we're going to write our number sentences. So I'm going to do this one first. So 3 lots of 5 is the same as 3 times 5. We get the answer of 15. And then 5 lots of 3, 5 times 3 equals 15. And if we look at our number sentences, we can see that all I've done to get my commutativity is I've switched the numbers that are in the question, but I'm still getting the same answer because I've still got the same total number of objects altogether. Okay, and I'm just switching it because we can look at our groups in 2 different ways. Okay, so I'd like you to have a go of task 2 on the maths challenge this week if you would like to have a go of this one. Okay. Okay, we're moving on to task 3 now, which is going to be word problems that I want children that are going to approach this task to solve it mentally, so using your knowledge of your times tables. Okay, so we're going to be using the cubs strategy to solve our word problem, which is a strategy that we've done in class lots of times, so it's just revision for us. So the C in cubs stands for circle the numbers, the U stands for underline the question, the B stands for box keywords, and the S stands for solve. Okay, so the first thing we've got to do when we're completing a word problem, and it's such an important step, is to read the question carefully. Okay, because if you don't, then you might miss something. You might miss what the question is asking you to do. So it says, Miss Marsden bought 5 packs of biscuits. Each pack had 8 biscuits in it. How many biscuits were there altogether? So I'm going to follow my cubs. So first of all, I've got to circle the numbers. So I know that I bought 5 packets of biscuits and each pack had 8 biscuits in it. So I've circled those key numbers. There's no other numbers in the question, but I know that these ones are going to be important. I now need to underline the question. So the question is, how many biscuits were there altogether? Okay. So that's what I'm trying to find out. If I've got 5 packs of biscuits with 8 biscuits in them, how many biscuits were there all together? And then I'm going to box my keywords. So I'm going to box all together. So that shows me that I need to work out the total. And I'm going to box 5 packs. And I'm going to box 8 biscuits in it. So I can visualise in my head that I've got 5 packs of biscuits and each pack has got 8 biscuits in them. Okay, then I need to solve. So I need to work out what I need to do to solve this. What kind of calculation is it? If I've got 5 groups or 5 packs with 8 in each group, that shows me that it's going to be a multiplication. So I'm trying to work out 5 lots of 8. So I'm going to write down 5 lots of 8 as a number sentence. Okay, so it'll be 5 times 8, because when we're working out groups of or lots of, that means that we're doing multiplications, okay? And I'm going to give you a couple of seconds to work out the answer to 5 times 8, because you should know that from practicing our times tables in class. Okay? So well done. The answer is 40. And I'll just quickly count up in my 5s to check. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 48 times, okay? That's all you need to do to solve the word problems, but I would like you to really take your time and make sure that you're following the cub strategy to make sure that you're reading the questions carefully, okay? So I'd like you guys to now get on with task 3 on our maths challenge for this week. Okay everyone, that's the end of the video for this week. I hope you've enjoyed it and I hope that it's recapped the strategies that you need to use for multiplication for you and that you're now ready to have a go of the challenges. Okay, I look forward to seeing them on Seesaw and I look forward to seeing lots more of your work as well. I hope you have a lovely week and I will see you next week. Bye!